Shiner Draft Bock is the best beer I've ever had in my life.
And I'm telling you right now, okay, look, I've got this whole arm.
You're not going to, it'll be.
Shiner, you tell me what you want and where, and we will do it.
It has to be on the arm.
I mean, do you want it in my ass or what? Like,
I mean,
no, I mean, if they're like, hey, let's do a Texas thing on your calf or what, I don't give a shit. Yeah, let's do it. That's fine. You know what? It would be cool. We could even go down there, film some B-roll out there, get like some T-shirts and stuff. Go see our buddy Chip, have him do the Shiner tattoo for me. We can make a whole trip of it.
That's in Arlington, not Shiner, Texas.
I don't care.
They might.
I'm just saying, Chip's our guy if we're getting a tattoo, right?
Chip is our guy. We got to go to Chip again. Guess what?
What?
We have got a cheat code for your wallet, people.
That's right. We're always telling everyone that we need to level up. You can level up your life. You can level up your gear. Well, our buds at the Cellular Center ICT just dropped a power-up you do not want to miss.
You don't want to miss this. We're talking about an iPhone 16e, the newest iPhone.
How much?
$550. Stop listening right now. Go to apple.com and look at the 16e. It's $599 on Apple's website. And this one's unlocked, and it's $550. It's $50 off. And it's unlocked. So you don't have to go take it to Verizon. You don't have to go take it to AT&T. You can use it anywhere you want. You can use it with Straight Talk. You can use it with Boost. You can use it with anybody.
But okay, so here's what's crazy though. Like talking to these guys, they said if you're spending over $300 on a phone, they're also giving you a Starbucks gift card.
Yes.
Like why?
So you go buy this 15e or the 16e, and they're going to give you a Starbucks gift card. You go buy any phone in there for $300 or more, and they're giving you a Starbucks gift card. So if your current phone is lagging worse than freaking dial-up internet used to,
Trav's computer,
or my Dell, or you're tired of being locked into a contract, head over to Cellular Center ICT at the Town East Mall, upstairs, across from the Men's Warehouse, next door to the Pop Corner.
Hell yeah. And I tell you what, go there, tell them that Cartridge and Quest sent you. Yeah. And then, either get the new iPhone for $550 or spend over $300 and get some free Starbucks with it. Like that's ridiculous.
Upgrade them comms, people.
Upgrade it.
Welcome back to Cartridge and Quest.
We're getting close to 20.
We are, and we're bringing you that weekly dose of nostalgic nonsense. And we're the only podcast that will make you remember that downloading a single MP3 from LimeWire actually took longer than listening to the song when it was finished.
That's true.
Like, how is that even possible?
I don't know, but it is. It's 100%. That's happened.
It happened every time. Identify future challenges. I don't know why that's in there.
I'm Averagetrav. He's Foodie Mike C.
Wait a second. Hold on. I'm Averagetrav, and he's Foodie Mike C. And this is the Cartridge and Quest podcast, episode 118.
We did it.
We're at 18 people. We are adults in the podcasting world.
Huh.
I don't know if that means anything yet.
I was like, what can we do? Can we buy like digital lottery tickets?
We can buy smokes.
Okay.
Cigarellos.
I do have some cigars if you want one.
If we get done early, we should go do that.
I have. They're nice. This new one I got.
We should go do that if we get done. We should hurry through this.
Yeah, make it quick just so we can hang out. We don't even film this week. We just we just need some alone time. So Retro Rewind is always powered by the Regent Theater, and right now they have How to Train Your Dragon, the live action, and it looks so damn good. I'm so excited for that.
Dude, it looks so good. That movie, when the cartoon when it first came out was awesome. Yeah. My kids love that movie. All of them love that movie. This is going to be so cool. They changed some things that I thought was a little bit weird, but overall, this movie looks like it's going to be freaking sweet.
Yeah,
I'm excited. Go check it out at the Regent. Go see Jerry. Go get some popcorn. And check out How to Train Your Dragon this weekend. Let's hop into some computer news.
Let's do it.
June 25th, 1998. Let's redo that. June 25th, 1998. Windows 98 was released to retail. Like, this is the iconic Windows.
Yep, I remember it.
Of course you remember it. It was the thing that, like, this was our portal to the internet. Like, this was really the first time that we were like, it was the computer was internet centric. Like 95 was more like word processor and like a few games, and like it wasn't really internet centric. Windows 98 was like the first time that we were like, oh man,
built around the web.
Yes, it was built for the web, and it was great, man. Like, yeah, we hated it by the time it was done, but I think that's always.
Yeah.
So the second edition of Windows 98, Windows 98 SE, came out a year later. I feel like they were just money grabbing at this point because you had to pay for these every time. And
I hated that bullshit.
It sucked. It was so dumb. And so they were like, oh yeah, we're going to put out a second edition, and it's the same freaking thing. And yeah, there were some differences, but the main difference was it said SE.
Yeah.
Like, screw you, Microsoft. What are you doing?
That's what I've been saying.
2008, Mozilla releases Firefox 3.
That was huge.
It was so huge that it had 8.3 million downloads in the first 24 hours, dude. Like, that stuff that's insane.
I don't even remember how I was alerted to it, but I just remember it being immensely better. It was crazy.
Yes, it was so much better. Like, crazy better. Mozilla is still around. They're still doing the Firefox browser, and they do a lot of cool stuff. And it's really kind of the only one that's not Chromium based, if you want to get real nerdy about it.
So I will say that I'm obviously like strictly like Safari, but I do get Chrome for other things, and I do like Chrome. I think Chrome's a good one.
Chrome's good.
And I do love what Google's doing as far as like integration, and that's a big reason I am an Apple guy, is because their integration is just killer. It's so good.
Yeah, I'm finding out that the reason is because they really like hold that stuff tight. Like, I do IT stuff at work, and they've moved all of their stuff over to USB-C, and it doesn't work as well as the Lightning cables did on like trying to image iPads and that kind of, like, it's not as consistent, I've noticed, because I've been doing a lot of that for work.
Interesting.
And it's just not like the USB-C cable isn't as consistent and doesn't work every single time. I never had a problem with the Lightning cable ever.
See, and that's what's wild is so many people like are hating on, like, I've never had an issue with Lightning whatsoever. Like, I think it's fine, but everybody's like, oh, everything's got to go to C. Everything's got to go to C. And I understand the need to want it to be universal, but at the same time, it's like if you're kind of substituting function for just,
it's really been regulated by the EU, right? Because they want to get rid of e-waste, and so they want everything to be the same, so you don't have to get a new cable every single time. Or so if you move phones, you don't have to get a new cable and throw this one away or whatever.
I will say that's what's really pissing me off about Apple, though. Like, you get a new phone, it's like, okay, we're moving you from your Lightning to a USB-C, but we're not going to give you a fucking box for it. And it's like,
right,
what the fuck? Like, you're not even giving me the necessary components to charge this motherfucker?
Right, yeah. I
was like, I paid all this money for it, and it's like this little tiny fucking brick. You're just saying no.
The funny thing is, I feel like when they thought about they're like, whoever is buying this phone already has one, and we gave them a brick last time, and so we don't ever have to give them a brick ever again.
But it went from USB to C, like the micro C or whatever. So it's like,
yeah,
fuck you guys.
It was kind of wild. Yeah, because they went to USB-C at the plug-in end first, right? And it was still Lightning
micro, so it's like, goddamn.
Right. Yeah, that's weird. But but I feel like that's why Apple is the way it is because they were able to they do all of it.
Yeah.
And so it can be better that way, right?
See, I wish this is something we don't even have to get into it right now. Maybe we can talk about it next time, but I wish this is something we could have like talked about as a subject on the podcast, like this whole Apple release that they just did, like new features and shit like that they're doing. So I feel like they had some cool stuff, but some of it I feel like it's just kind of catching up to what's already out there. But we'll talk about it later.
Because Google Android 16 just came out too, and so that we've got a brand new. It just dropped on my phone actually because I have a Pixel. And so I get all the new releases before anybody else because Pixel's made by Google. And so, I mean, we could compare those, and I think that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good subject next time. But just like quick examples, like they had like a call screening, like, oh, do you hate spam? And I know you've had it for a while. Because I remember calling you one time. I was like, what the fuck is this? Like some things like, oh, this is Trav's phone. Like, tell me who you are and leave a message, and we'll get it to him. I'm like, god damn, he's got his own fucking AI secretary over here. But yeah, and it's like Apple's just now doing it, and it's like, but I do feel like whenever Apple does something, they do it really well.
Yeah, well, yes, and that's easier to do when you're not innovating, right? If you don't come up with the idea, of course you can make somebody else's idea better. I'm great at doing that with jokes.
Yeah, you'll hear it and say it louder, and then it's like, Yeah. So real quick, this just reminded me of the story of my dad since he just got in this car wreck. We're in the ER, and something you just said kind of reminded me of that. This lady's like, "Man, you really jacked your hand up," and she's like, "I guess when you do it well or something." And he's like, "That's what she said." And I'm like, "You literally just said that out loud to like a fucking ER nurse who's like stitching your hand up."
Idiot.
And I don't know why it just reminded me of that, but I just thought it was funny. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Oh, man. All right, let's move to games. June 20th, 1997, Final Fantasy Tactics released in Japan.
Was that like a card game? I
No,
don't know
this
why.
is it was PlayStation.
But I feel like I remember like Final Fantasy. Maybe they they had a card game inside of. I
Maybe
remember
this
they had.
this was an RPG, so it was
Yeah,
a
yeah.
role-playing game.
I mean, they always were. Final Fantasy were, but I feel like
Well, it was a tactical RPG, which
Yeah,
which is different.
yeah.
And I don't know a lot about Final Fantasy.
I don't know why that just like sparked something to me that I feel like in one of the games they had a game inside of it to where it's like a card game, almost like Pokemon or some shit where you like had
really
to deal
you
shit.
were trading.
Yeah, I can't remember, but I'm gonna have to look into that now. And if you
Weird.
guys remember, please comment
let
and
us
tell us
know.
about it because I mean I just remember it was fucking cool because it was a game in a game.
That is cool. 2004, Nintendo begins releasing Game Boy Advance video cartridges with up to 90 minutes of animated TV shows.
The fuck?
The first cartridges were 30 minutes, and they had Pokemon shows on them. And then
I don't remember that at all.
I don't either. But this sounds awesome. Like being able to watch
Yeah.
TV in the car. Like that feels like the very first time you would have been able to ever do that.
Do you remember when CDs had like DVD shit on the end of it? Like they would add like a music video or something?
No.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember having a couple CDs like where it had like a music video
Weird.
at the end of it. You could put like a Blu-ray or something. Fucking crazy.
Well, yeah, because I do kind of remember that. You used to be able to get the EQ on there, like you'd pop it in there and give you the EQ, but then at the end of the CD, it had like a video.
Yeah, yep.
Dang, that's crazy.
I know.
So this actually was kind of a hit. It seems like because there was Nickelodeon shows on there was Disney shows on there was anime. They did all kinds of movies. Shrek, the first couple Shrek movies were done this way, where you just took a Game Boy Advance cartridge and put it in there, and you played the video.
That's crazy.
That
so
awesome.
they were paving the way, man.
Dude, Nintendo, I didn't even realize that they did that until I was doing research on this topic, and it's like that seriously is like innovative. Conundrum time.
Another one. Let's do it.
Guess the game. All right, Cartridge Quest listeners. It's time for another brain teaser. Today's mystery game is a bona fide Nintendo 64 legend. You're following the adventures of an unlikely pair, a big, friendly bear and a feathered buddy.
Fuck yeah.
Who literally lives in his backpack. No, it's not a nature documentary. It's an epic platforming journey. The whole crazy plot kicks off when a slightly ugly, rhyming witch snatches away someone near and dear to our furry hero. So our dynamic duo sets off across a bunch of super creative worlds. We're talking everything from Bubbly Bay to a spooky haunted mansion and even a giant sandcastle. To save the day, they got to collect all sorts of shiny things, musical notes scattered everywhere, colored bananas, and golden jigsaw puzzles. Jigsaw pieces that open up new areas. And to get this, they even learn how to move. They even learn moves from a shaman, letting the bear do some impressive rolls and smashes, while the bird can do some aerial attacks and even help them fly. Plus, you get to transform into all sorts of wild creatures and solve puzzles and get to those hard-to-reach spots. So, if you've been playing classic games since the N64 days, you should know this one. What game has this bear and bird combo taken on a witch with a rhyming problem? You got it?
Parappa the Rappa.
Oh, that was PlayStation Fool.
Damn.
That was a long one. I don't know if I should have made it.
Yeah, that was way too fucking.
I had to get through that. Maybe I'll cut that one.
God damn it.
Huh. Shiner did not help me through that.
Man. Shit made me sleepy.
Woo!
What are you putting in the Shiner?
Wow. What is in that?
Let's go to pop culture.
Let's do that. Do you remember in 1980? You don't. But this movie came out in 1980.
Okay.
The Blues Brothers. Did you see this movie ever when you were a kid, even on TV?
Nope.
For real? Do you know anything about it?
No, I do not.
Wow, dude. This is iconic. You should seriously go watch this movie. Blues Brothers was awesome. Like, funny. Belushi and Aykroyd are in this. They're brothers. Jake and Elroy, I think, were their names. One of them's in jail. He gets out, and they were in an orphanage, and they find out that it's closing down. They want to go make money for the orphanage, and so they say they're going to get their band back together, right? Like, that might be where this originated. Is we're getting the band back together.
Okay.
And so then they go on this mission from God. I know you've heard that. We're on a mission from God. You've heard it.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
You guys have. I know. I can't believe you. Who are you?
Go on.
Wow. Anyway, Blues Brothers, 1980. Great. This was the very first movie that came from SNL.
Oh, okay.
This was an SNL skit, and then they made it into the movie. It was the very first one.
Okay.
So these dudes were hilarious, and this was funny. There was all kinds of cool musicians in this because they're working their way through Illinois to get to where they're trying to go, and they got their band back together and they're singing, and there's a bunch of cool blues guys.
All I'm imagining is Night at the Roxbury.
No, it's way better than that movie.
This is so fucking funny.
Really, this was a funny movie. You should go back and watch this. This was
We'll
a good one. All right, 1988.
Mm-hmm.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit? You watched this, right?
Yeah, a long time ago. I just kind of remember Jessica Rabbit.
Well, everybody remembers Jessica Rabbit. I mean, you can't not remember Jessica Rabbit. I watched this movie so many times, a bunch, and I wasn't very old. And I feel like there's some adult stuff in this movie.
Like, I feel like that's how I knew I wasn't gay. Like, what's up, pretty lady?
Hey, Jessica. Yeah, so this movie was insane because it was the very first time that on screen you had ever seen live action and cartoons come together. Like,
pretty crazy.
The way they did this was just insane. Like, it felt like they were in the same room. This movie opens up in a funny way. Like, it opens up as a cartoon, and there's a baby, and Roger Rabbit's supposed to be a babysitter. And this baby just starts terrorizing the house as soon as his mom leaves, and Roger Rabbit trying to get him, and he's starting fires on the stove, and then the refrigerator falls on Roger Rabbit's head, and then this baby just stands up and he starts talking in this super thick New York accent.
Yeah, just deep ass voice. Yeah,
talking all kinds of trash to Roger Rabbit, and it's just like, oh man, what did we just get into? Like, this is going to be a wild ride. And so it's just, there's all kinds of craziness. It's basically a detective story, right? At the end of it, but Christopher Lloyd's in this, the guy from Back to the Future and all kinds of other cool movies. He was the bad guy in this. One of the craziest scenes in this whole movie to me, and it's something that just whenever I see Roger Rabbit, this is the scene that goes into my brain, is when he gets stuck to the bulldozer and it runs him over and he's flattened. And you realize that he's actually a toon, and he gets up and he turns around and he's flat. And then he goes over to the helium thing and he blows himself up, and then his eyeballs pop out. Like, that to me is just iconic. And it's what reminds me of this movie every single time. So Roger Rabbit was great. I watched this a ton as a kid, and it was a Disney movie, but it was Touchstone.
Yeah. Okay. I don't remember it being Disney. That's wild.
Touchstone owned Disney.
Yeah.
It was just for their like more PG-13 movies.
Sure.
And above. But they got licenses for all kinds of stuff. Like Daffy Duck was in this, Bugs Bunny was in this. Like, that's the first, maybe the only time you've ever seen like all of those characters come together in one spot because they got the licenses for all of it. So
except for the fucking Space Jam.
Was Disney stuff in Space Jam, or was that all Warner Brothers stuff?
And me, I'll just be Warner. But I was like, God, that's such a good fucking.
And then the main character in this is actually Bob Hoskins, the guy that played Mario in that crappy Mario movie.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
He had 2 roles, and that was it. They said, God damn it, he failed this one too. All right, he's done.
This was his better one, and it was before Mario Brothers. But okay, let's get serious here for a second.
Okay.
1989. Batman.
Yeah.
In 1989, dude.
Yeah.
The Tim Burton Batman with Batman and with Michael Keaton as Batman.
That's the one I was referencing last time.
I know.
I was referencing the old school
Michael Keaton, 1989. The freaking Danny DeVito as the Joe, as the Penguin down in
He
the
was
sewer.
he was great.
He
He did
was
a great
really
job.
good. It was so different than like it was awesome. And
Tim
so
Burton though, like come
Tim
on.
Burton's just amazing. I don't know. So I'm a big fan of this, and I personally don't have a lot of comic books. My wife has a ton, but I
Give me
bought
the comic.
series. Oh man, my lights are messing it up. But this comic book, Batman '89, there's six books in the series, and it's so freaking cool. Like they just did these a couple years ago, and it just takes you back to the movie, and it's so cool. So I just wanted to show off my comic book because I thought
like
it was
it.
cool. But this movie was great, dude. Still really good, and I mean, Batman continues to outdo itself. It seems to get better every single time.
It's
I mean, there
so
was in the
hard.
middle there.
It's so hard for me because like I love consistency. Like this new Superman movie, like honestly, it looks good, and I feel like it's going to be a great movie. But the fact that it's not Cavill, like I'm just like, God, I don't even want to fucking watch it. You know what I mean? Like the day they remove Tom Holland as Spider-Man, I'm gonna be like, fuck this. I'm not gonna watch another Spider-Man because I don't know, man. I feel like just fucking give me somebody to stick with.
I don't know. I feel like I don't disagree with you, but there's always been new ones, right? Like,
I mean, I know, but imagine them getting a new Punisher. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you wouldn't want anybody but Barenthal to be
fuck.
Punisher because he's awesome at it. I think this new Superman movie though is going to be really good because here's why: James Gunn is just good at what he does.
Everything he does is good.
He does awesome at it, and this dude really does look like Superman to me. And I
feel like
think
Gunn has some of my favorite Marvel movies as well. So
Guardians, are the ones he did, and so
and that's always stood out to me. Like the Guardians were like always the best.
Yeah, they're really good. So that's pop culture. That's movies. Okay, listen, wrestling. We've been following the same story. For a couple of weeks. At the Great American Bash, Hall and Nash interrupt things. They become the outsiders. This is when they became the outsiders at the pay-per-view, right?
And I love that. I love the outsiders.
The outsiders were great. The black and red, the sort of ooze looking stuff, like the outsiders. So they powerbomb Bischoff through the stage, and then the next night on Nitro, the outsiders challenge the WCW. They say, give us your best 3. And it's like, wait, there's only 2 outsiders. Why do they want 3?
Yeah, exactly.
And WCW is like, okay. And so they give them Sting, Lex Luger, and the freaking Macho Man. Like, it doesn't get better than that, dude.
Goddamn.
So you got Hall and Nash, and you got these 3 titans in the freaking WCW, and so all of this is just building every week on Nitro. It's like, what? Who is the third man? Who's going to be the third guy? Who's going to come and be the tag team? And it's just building to that. And so we'll get there. Everybody knows what we're talking about. We're keeping it a secret, but everybody already knows.
Yeah.
We will get there once this what is the pay-per-view that comes, Bash at the Beach in Daytona Beach, is when it all comes to a head, and 11-year-old Trav was a puddle of tears because his hero just I'm not even gonna get into it yet, but this was such a cool storyline, dude. Like this every week, this takes me back to just remembering how awesome wrestling was for a 10, 11, 12-year-old kid back then. Like,
it was crazy.
It was just such good drama, and testosterone, and you can say whatever you want to say about it, but back then it was so freaking cool.
Like, you were glued Monday night. You're at that TV. You had no other plans whatsoever.
No, and it didn't matter if it went past 10 o'clock. You were actually excited if the clock hit 10 and they were still going.
Yeah,
because it's like, I don't
crazy
even
was
care.
happening.
Yes, so we'll get there, but this was a big one. That Great American Bash pay-per-view and then the Nitro after it were just huge for this storyline. Music.
You got all built up for that. Like, all right, let's go to music.
Let's go to music now.
Fuck.
I get pumped. I can get pumped about some wrestling. All right. 1990. Is it a bop? He says no. No, it's not.
No,
No, it's not. Roxette, It Must Have Been Love, hits number 1. This iconic ballad was featured in Pretty Woman, which is probably the only reason that it got to number 1, because it was in a number 1 movie. That movie's wild, by the way. If you
Never
go back
seen
and you never seen Pretty Woman?
No.
What did you do as a kid? What? How did you never see that movie?
I played outside, you played inside. Okay, let's just get some fucking sun in your life, nerd.
Touch some grass, stupid. Well, okay. All right. 1992,
Mm-hmm.
Black Sabbath Dehumanizer
Yeah.
album. Ronnie James Dio was back as a singer.
Fucking Dio.
And yeah, so
You will see the master of insanity.
so Sabbath, pretty iconic.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you know, I mean, they have all kinds of crazy stuff. So Sabbath was Ozzy.
Yep.
For a while, right
Mhm.
before he went out on his own, and then Dio came back, and so yeah, I mean, not my favorite thing, but definitely was one of my dad's favorites.
I mean, it's definitely iconic, and it's stuff like my dad listened to. But it's funny, like hearing like old metal stuff, or like old rock stuff, and like they thought they were so fucking hard. It's like some of the stuff you hear now sounds like
cheesy,
the
dude.
fucking devil coming
Oh
out. and
yeah,
these guys just had big hair, makeup, and
loud guitars. They just turned up their guitar to 11.
yeah.
Okay, I roll, but 1992, Mariah Carey.
Where there is love, I'll be there.
Jackson 5 was the shit, though.
Yes, they were. I agree,
Fuck.
and they were so awesome, and just Michael Jackson in general was awesome to a point.
Yeah.
But yes, the Jackson 5, all of their songs were awesome, and so for somebody to redo a Jackson 5 song was pretty cool.
I took that as like, you're like, Michael Jackson was cool to a point, and I think you meant like as a year, but I thought like, yeah, until you're 12 or so, Michael Jackson was super cool. And
Oh
like,
my gosh,
he
dude!
gets
No.
bored with you and fucking
is
ghost
not what
you.
I meant.
You stop
That is
going to his
legit.
house and having sleepovers, and
He was pre Diddy.
the OG Diddy. Fuck.
First Diddy.
Oh god.
All right, 1998, Metallica. This music video is so cool because I love Hot Rods.
It's an intense song, regardless.
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire.
So, like this music video is all Hot Rods. It's drag racing. That starts out with a car doing a burnout, like super cool. And I mean, yeah, these guys are just quintessential rock from back then, right?
Absolutely.
So you had to. I mean, I don't know if you like them or hate them or whatever.
My uncle's going to see them, and I want to say he spent like $2,500 on two
my
tickets.
gosh,
2 tickets.
that is insane.
Shit.
What the heck?
That is
No
wild.
way. Okay, these next two, man, you know them as soon as you hear them.
It's just one of those days.
It just makes you want to freaking punch something.
I tell you what, man, Limp Bizkit, they definitely had a huge impact on music, and I remember liking Wes Borland as a guitarist because he was always just doing weird shit and different. He was a very good guitarist. And then I've seen so many artists come out and say like, man, we opened for Limp Bizkit and Wes was such a
He was a
fucking
jerk.
asshole. Just
Yeah.
and it just kind of ruins it for
That
me. Like
sucks.
he's still an incredibly talented dude and he still
Yeah.
does like weird shit. But when I hear that a musician is an asshole, it makes
I
me like
hate
not
that.
even want to support him, dude. It's like, go
I
fuck
hate that.
yourself. But with that being said, I feel like Fred Durst was kind of the same way. Seemed like a
Not
big
now, though.
a big
it doesn't
douchebag,
seem
but
like.
now he seems like the coolest fucking
He
dad
does.
that you just want to go hang out
Absolutely.
with.
He's just
Like,
wearing his 90s jumpsuits and has his curly, fluffy
or
hair
comes out in
here.
fucking overalls and
Yeah,
boots and he's just dancing
right.
like a fucking hillbilly or something. I don't
Yeah.
know. They just, man, he seems like
So-
he loves to have fun, but I hope someday I get to meet Wes and find out he's not a huge asshole. But
Right.
until then, I'm just kind of like,
The
that sucks.
Significant Other album was just huge. Like the graffiti on the front of that album and like
Yeah.
the
Nookie,
shoe kicking
when
it
Nookie
out.
came out, man, it was crazy. It was such a good fucking song. And it's like, listen to that guitar, like the initial
This is
guitar. How do you
awesome,
even come up
dude.
with
I
that?
don't
Like,
know, but it's iconic, and you know
so
exactly
cool.
what it is when you hear it. Like,
Mhm.
it's just, it gets you pumped. And these guys, I mean, his backwards red hat, like, he was just an iconic dude.
So I was a baseball player for Wellington, and we had red, like
Yeah.
red's our color. And I had a red hat I wore backwards all the time, and everyone's like, "Oh, fucking Fred Durst." I'm like, man, fuck
I
that
did that
shit.
first.
But yeah,
All right. This one's for the ladies.
where's the
All-
dudes?
All the ladies. Yeah, could be the dudes. Christina Aguilera, 1999. Genie in a Bottle debuted single, launched her career.
Mm-hmm. Oh, she might look better now than she did back then. That's crazy.
I don't know how. There's something going on in Hollywood, because
Yeah.
I just saw an Old Navy commercial with redheaded chick.
Oh, that narrows it down. Chastain.
No, from Freaky Friday.
Oh, yeah. What the fuck is her name?
I said it earlier today.
I don't think you did.
No, not here.
Oh, I was like, you're
I
a
asked
fucking
my
liar.
wife, "Is that Lindsay Lohan?"
Yeah, Lohan.
I just there something's going on in Hollywood, because I just saw a commercial for Old Navy with Lindsay
Mhm.
Lohan in it, and
Yeah.
she looks younger now than she
Yeah.
did when she was in Freaky Friday.
Yeah.
It's insane.
It's crazy. I feel like back, like you look at like some of the 80s and 90s, people did not fucking age well at
Not at
all.
all.
But I feel like in like our generation and shit, people are looking better like the older they get, and
I don't know what's
that's
happening.
wild. But
So that's music.
yeah,
She was unstoppable. Like there had to be somebody to go up against Britney Spears, and she was the one.
oh yeah.
And like,
And I felt
she
like they
killed it.
tried to pit them against each other, and
They
I don't.
wouldn't do it.
Yeah,
though.
it's like they
They're
tried to make them like assholes with each other, but I
Right.
think they were just like, fuck that, you know, like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. So anyway, we've been talking about it for a little bit, but we're part of the Collector's Maze network now. If it's geek, they have you covered.
And it is a network. There's a lot of
there's
it.
a
A lot of
lot
stuff in
happening.
there. That's crazy.
Like, you can go check out Epic Tales from the Sewers with Justin and Eric if you want to hear about an exciting, in-depth conversations about TMNT. These dudes have it. Like, they've sent stuff, like Eastman has Eric's wife's blankets that she's made and stuff. Like, these
That's
guys are
crazy.
into Ninja Turtles, and that's what they talk about on their podcast. So go check those guys out. There's 21 shows in total
Yeah.
on
Really
the network.
cool stuff on there.
And so go check them out. collectorsmazenetwork.com/shows. We're on there, and then there's 20 other shows on there. So seriously, if you geek out
Pretty much
about
whatever you
anything,
want. Yeah,
go check out one of these shows, and you're gonna hear some stuff that you like.
gonna be fantastic. But I'll tell you what, we've been spending more time outside. Obviously, it's summertime. Baseball just ended for my son. My other son, he is going to be going at it a little bit longer, but we've been trying to spend some more time out at the pool. I've got the outdoor kitchen. Everything's looking all sexy, smelling good outside. And I cannot tell you how many times I have people write me and they'll say like, man, I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do. And some of it is like the most basic stuff to me that, you know, it's kind of mind blowing, but it's so cool though to know that there's still people that need that education, because like that's what I'm all about. I'm all about food education and teaching people. And for example, I have a video on TikTok, and still daily I'm getting hits on this video. It has like 370,000 views, something like that. But it's literally me with a charcoal chimney, and I'm putting it on top of a steak and essentially broiling it with like super high heat. Well, people are like, "What is that thing? What is it? How does it work?" You know, and I'm like, "It's just a charcoal chimney." Like, what's that? And I'm
Just
like,
coals
"Holy
with the hot
shit!"
bottom, right?
Yeah, so stuff like that. People just got so used to getting those fucking lighter bags from like you know, these companies and lighting them, and that's how you do charcoal.
Yeah.
But these charcoal chimneys are amazing, and I feel like that's something I need to kind of speak on, and I might even show a little clip up here.
Yeah.
But it's so cool. You literally just fill the chimney with charcoal, put like a lighting source, whether it's like some newspapers or whatever. Literally a chimney with a handle.
Yeah, exactly.
And it
And
has
some
holes in it. Yeah. So you light your shit on the bottom, it lights the chimney, and that's when you get like some of the best cooking, because you get this like match light shit. It's got, you know, all this
Lighter
old
fluid in
the,
it.
the lighter fluid's already on
nasty.
top of it. You know, you're kind of getting that flavor, that scent. Like I can always tell in the neighborhood when somebody's using lighter fluid, and it's like, fuck that shit. But anyways, so this is how you get more of like a natural thing, a natural product, because if you're using like lump charcoal, that to me is like something that's going to set your food above. Like it gets hot, it stays hot. But a charcoal chimney is definitely a great start. And in the video, I even kind of talk about, you know, when you just set the chimney on there, of course you're going to get super intense, like direct heat. But it's like, but then what? The inside's going to be raw. So a lot of times people are like, well, how did you cook it prior, or how do you finish it? So that's when you're looking at like offset heat. So I think a lot of people just got used to like, okay, you light the bag, it's on fire, you throw your food on there, char the shit out of it, and then it's done. So offset cooking, offset smoking, it can be done essentially like to where imagine you have this circle grill, right? And you're just using a little bit of the grill and you're starting some heat here and then having the heat roll through to the charcoal here. So I had essentially like a Big Green Egg, but it was the Grilla version of it. And Grilla Grills, they do some amazing stuff and it's a lot cheaper. Great products though. Anyways, I want to say it was sleeting on us. It was like 35 degrees outside, something like that. We were smoking meat for like 8 hours off of one chimney basket. And we did like some offset smoking that way, maintained like 225 for 8 hours straight off of one chimney.
You just had to keep feeding it or what?
No, that's the thing. So when you light your chimney, you get the bottom of it hot. And then the top of it, you like just let it essentially like stay raw, so then when you're shaking it out, you're like doing it like in a C shape. So the hot stuff just kind of slowly follows around and starts lighting it.
Interesting.
And so it's super cool how you can do that and do like your offset smoking that way. But you can do the same thing essentially with grilling. Even if you had the whole thing hot, just do one side of your grill versus the other. You can have like a steak sitting on the cold side, put the lid on it, and essentially it's cooking at 400 degrees or whatever the inside temperature is.
Yeah.
You're still getting that great flavor because it's building up before it comes out. And then that's when you can transfer like your cooked steak essentially. I usually go to like 120. Give it a quick sear. By that time it's like 130.
Because you're not going to burn the outside of it. You're going to get the inside hot.
And that's the biggest thing. People doing chicken or steaks. Like I remember, I even still say this to my wife. It's like, it smells like College Street steaks outside. Because like her dad would be outside on the grill and it just scorching the shit out of these steaks. And I mean, it was always decent, but when you burn something, it gets bitter. You know what I mean? So that's another tip here. It always depends on what you're putting on top of your food. Because for example, if I'm doing a brisket, I'm not doing anything with sugar or not much sugar to it at all, because that's why they do salt, pepper, garlic, whatever. And that's it. If you're adding sugar to something, it starts to caramelize, and that tastes great. But then you over caramelize it, it burns, it gets bitter, it tastes shitty. So I'm doing a quick chicken or something, I'll make a rub and I'll do a little bit of sugar in with it, just to kind of build some flavor. But God, yeah, if you're doing any kind of exposed time, cut your sugar out because it is absolutely going to fuck up.
It's going to burn the outside and
whatever meat.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. So as far as creating rubs, like that's one thing that I really love doing. And I think it was a lot of fun experimenting with it in the past because you can really dial it down to whatever you want it to be. But essentially I would start with like paprika because it makes everything look good. You know what I mean? Just that color from the pepper. Red, what I mean? You're not getting a lot of flavor from it. But that's when you start adding like your salt, your pepper, some garlic, onion, your base flavors, that you want. And then that's when you can add a little bit of sugar, brown sugar. I've messed around with different things like that. But after that point, that's when you're like, okay, well, if I'm doing like a chicken, I can do like some dill or some rosemary. Let's do some thyme and kind of give it some of those flavors. But if you're doing anything else, like, whether it's Mexican and you're adding like some like ancho chili or something like that to give it a little more flavor, some cumin, oregano, things like that. So it's like you can really just make a base rub that you want and then just add a few small ingredients and make it completely different. But again, if you're doing anything long term, I suggest salt, pepper, garlic, and just let it ride.
Also, I just want to add, when you're eating a steak.
Yep.
First of all, I used to eat my steak well done. That's gross.
Yeah.
Second of all, no matter what's happened and how the steak has gotten cooked, throw a little bit of salt on top of it.
Yeah.
When you've cut it.
But here's the thing: when people season food, like I can't tell you how many cooking videos I see on TikTok, like, oh, this is so good, and you see them just sprinkle a touch of salt onto it. It's like, dude, when you're grilling something, like you're always losing juices and shit like that. It's like, dude, season the fuck out of your meat. You don't want it like just, the salt burning a hole in your fucking tongue, but you want to season it more than you think you're going to need to. And I remember being at Food Network and Bobby saying, I would rather have my food over seasoned than under seasoned.
Really?
So it's like. And yeah, you're right though. Like you make a good steak, no matter how, slice it up.
Yep.
It's nothing wrong with a little bit of sauce. I'm not saying fucking A1 or barbecue or ketchup. It's like fuck that shit. But yeah, you're making something delicious like that. But a little bit of finishing salt over the top, it's gonna pop.
It makes the flavor come out. Like this is so funny. My wife knows how to eat food.
Mhm.
She knows how to cook food too, but she
Yeah.
knows how to eat food. And I would get my steak well done, and I would just cut it and use A1. And I would eat her steak, and she got it medium rare.
Mm-hmm.
And she would always put salt on top of it, and I would
Yeah.
always take a bite of her steak whenever we'd get steak, and I'd be like,
It's
"Your
so
steak
much
is so
better.
much better than mine.
So
How,
much
how
better.
you got the same one?" She's like, "It's how I got it cooked, and it's what I did after."
Yeah.
And so it's, and yeah, I mean, it may take a little bit of time for you to get used to the redness
Mhm.
of the meat, but it's supposed to be that way.
Yeah.
That's how it's meant to be eaten.
Exactly.
And the salt brings out all the flavors from it being
Mhm.
cooked when you put salt on top of it.
Yeah, and if
And-
you're scared to mess around with like your own like rubs, seasonings, all that, like no joke, like Kinder's makes some amazing products. Kinder's has
do.
a cowboy butter that I love. I
Yes,
put that
we
shit
have that
on
at home right
everything.
now.
It's so good, but Kinder's makes an amazing product. Even just getting like some Cavenders. I've done salt pepper Cavenders, and it is
I just made a brisket the other night and used Kinder brisket rub.
yeah, and that's essentially salt, pepper, garlic.
Mhm.
Like that's the thing. But yeah, I mean, experiment with these things too, and don't get discouraged because I mean, I can't tell you how many times I fucked up before I finally started getting stuff right. Like you're gonna have to mess some stuff up before you finally get into it. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? Like
for sure.
people ask me like, God, your brisket's so fucking good. Like, how do you do it? And I was like, I've literally made
Tons
like
of briskets.
1,000. Like
Yeah.
I've literally made like 1,000 brisket because I
Right.
work for Traeger and you know what I mean? Like in my own time, like they paid me to make brisket, but then they'd fly me to fucking Texas A&M and then I'd have to make several brisket that
Yeah,
night, so you
right.
get used to trimming and seasoning and
Right.
wrapping and all that stuff,
And
it's like,
it's a really, once you figure it out, remember what you did, because
Sure.
it's so hard to go like, because you're not going to make brisket every week when
Yeah.
you're at home. So if you do a good one, remember what you did so you can do it next time, because it
Yeah.
will be the same if you
Yeah.
do it the same.
And there's even now, even me after doing all this time, like there's still shit that I'm learning that I'm like, God, I didn't know that. That's so cool. And I have literally taken a scientific approach to it. Like I've used meat thermometers and cooking logs and all this stuff to figure out like when to wrap it, when not to, how to wrap it, what to use, what, because people call it the Texas crutch to use foil. And
Yeah.
it's like, well, I've done foil, but then it's like, no, I'd rather use parchment paper because it
Right.
lets some of the steam out and it gives you a better bark and things like that. But so there's a lot of stuff, but even just recently going down to Texas to Terry Black's,
Yep.
They're like, oh, we used a little bit of Worcestershire. If we see that it has spots or it's not getting as dark as we want, we'll spray it with Worcestershire sauce and it will give it that darker bark color and it gives
Nice.
kind of more of the beef flavor too.
Mhm.
And I'm like, God, that is so smart.
It
Like,
is.
so even now, man, it's like you always have to be ready
Yeah.
and willing to learn because there's so much information out there.
Speaking about information
And Texas.
This is week 2 of us shouting out Shiner until they acknowledge us.
Yeah.
We are drinking Shiner Shine tonight.
Yeah.
I'm
Caroline.
even drinking it out of a Texas cup, Shiner.
And I'm supporting my boys in OKC
It's okay.
because
I think they'd be all right with that.
Yeah.
Shiner Shine. These are called cherry limeade Shiners. We got a little bit of lime juice. We got some Starry in there, some cherry grenadine, and a whole lot of Shiner Shine.
a whole lot of Shiner. I just poured with my heart, and he was like, "What are you doing?"
I think he put 6 Mississippis in these mama bears. Like
Yeah.
these are, there's a lot.
That's not an exaggeration either. I was just kind of pouring. He's like, "Are you even going to say Mississippi or something?" I was like, "Nope,
Nope.
We just
Not
kind of
doing
ran with it." So, legit, like we don't want to be the annoying people who just
Not
keep
at all.
bothering people, but it's like, God damn, we just
We
believe in
love
this company
We love Shiner stuff, man.
enough to get a permanent fucking tattoo on my
Yes.
body. So, yeah, my buddy actually said, he's like, "Hey, just to let you know, I emailed Shiner." I'm like, fucking good. Everybody needs to write Shiner. Maybe until they get fucking annoyed and just
That's a
say, God
good
damn it,
friend
we
right
will
there.
send you a fucking pallet. You get a tattoo and we'll call it good.
Yeah, whatever it is. We just want you to know, Shiner, we love your products.
Yeah.
And anything that we can do to collaborate would be amazing. So
my
just
outdoor
reach
kitchen
out.
looks sexy as hell
Yeah,
with
it
those
does.
signs. But
I got some
I even
signs.
thought, it's like, what if I was wearing a Shiner shirt right now? How cool would that be? Or you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, sponsor a segment. Do something, Shiner. Like hit
we'll
us
do
up.
something.
Let's
And
go, Shiner.
I just want to. Maybe I need to cook with some Shiner.
Yeah,
maybe that's
beer
key.
battered chicken with Shiner.
Yeah, maybe we'll make a barbecue sauce or something.
Yeah,
like,
there we go.
let's
Yeah,
do it. We're gonna
we
make
got
it a fucking segment. We're gonna have like
Yes.
a Shiner segment every week.
Shiner shine, baby.
Yeah.
All right.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah, he's right. We don't want to be annoying, but we're going to be annoying for a little bit because we love Shiner and we want them to know it.
Absolutely.
What's MBB?
So MBB, I don't know why I said that. It's actually Midwest Battle Buddies.
You did it twice.
Yeah. It's Midwest Battle Buddies, and that is
WBB.
yeah, I think they're just doing MBB. But I actually asked them, like, so we're doing something at the Regent soon, with the 40th anniversary.
Yeah.
And 40th anniversary of
Back to the
Back
Future.
to the Future. Sorry, I was like, I just said 40th anniversary. But anyways, we're kind of looking for people to come do this event,
Yeah.
and it occurred to me, like, last week I was at the Midwest Battle Buddies training with my dog Thor. So he's being trained to be a service dog. He's been for like 2 years now, and this dog is fun. He's goofy.
He's awesome, dude.
He's an idiot. I love him. But he does so well. It's like once he puts this vest on, it's like he knows that it's time to work and it's time to be serious. And it was just really cool last week being out with the guys again, because it's kind of been in and out for me because I've been so damn busy. But Midwest Battle Buddies, they do such an incredible job getting these veterans service dogs and getting them to the training that they need. So that's something that I wanted to kind of just bring out. And I remember even just going to the very first lesson, and Thor was just a puppy, you know what I mean? And I would tell them, it's like, well, one thing he does is I go to give him a treat, and this fucker jumps at my hand and bites it, and just like starts scratching me up. So immediately, like, oh, here's what you do: put him in a sit, hold the treat above your head. So this is some free training for you here. You got a puppy. It's like, put him in a sit, or just make him stay on the floor regardless. Anyway, start bringing the treat slowly down to them. And then as soon as they lunge for it, say nope, and then pull it back up. And literally within like 3 times of me doing that, he sat there and realized I'm not getting it unless I calm the
Dogs are
fuck down.
so smart. Like, they're so smart.
It's wild, man. So some of the things that I remember having some like disappointing days because, it's like there's some difficult shit that you cover, you know what I mean? Especially for service animal stuff, it's like you have to expect them to be in public and do well with people. And Thor has really done well, and I feel like he's very close to being what he needs to do. He already had this test called a Canine Good Citizens test, and he passed that, and that's really cool to see. Because God, when it's just us hanging out, like
He's a dummy.
Like, boy, you were dumb, but he's so cool though, man. He loves to stand up and give hugs and stuff. But he's done,
Sometimes.
not you, he will me, but he's done so much cool stuff, and he actually uses buttons to talk to us, so that's super cool. Like I remember, he has a love you button, and one night, like Linz was trying to get him to stand up and give her a hug, and he just wouldn't do it. He doesn't give hugs at night. I don't know why. He just will not. He won't do it. So we were going to bed, and she's like, come on, give me a hug, give me a hug. And he's like, no, he just wouldn't do it. So she's like, fine, Thor, I'm going to bed. And she starts to go upstairs, and he runs off to his buttons, and you hear him, and legit, he goes, Mom, love you. So it's like, I'm not going to give you a hug, but I love you. It's like, he's like, I just wanted to let you know. But he does, like, he intently, like, will hit, like, mom or dad. Like, he will say, Dad, fight, or bye-bye, or whatever. Like, he wants me to get, like, I've literally gotten the truck just to drive around the block a few times because I know he just wants to go.
Yeah, that's funny.
So it's cool that there's a program like Midwest Battle Buddies out there, because they're doing some really cool stuff. There's a lot of amazing dogs out there. Like I really look up to Jasmine. She has her dog Tony, and Tony is so damn smart, and he's fucking adorable, and he's so good. Like, he was one of the first dogs I noticed, like, when we first started going there, because he's just so smart. Like, I feel like they have it figured out already. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if they graduated or if they're about to or whatever, but they're incredible, and you could just see the amount of work that they put into it. So it's really cool being a part of that. So I just thought it'd be a cool shout out for them to let people know that they're out there. They're doing great things. They actually have I want to say Monday, it's like the 30th or something. There's a golf tournament in Wichita, and they actually
Thor on the cover.
They used Thor for the flyer of that thing, because we were out there last year, and it was a good time. But it's really cool, so if you can make it, go out there, go check it out, because then you can meet all the dogs and talk to the.
Are they coming to the deal?
I don't know for sure if they're going to. I think it'd be really cool if they do, but I mean, if then maybe I just have Thor out there with me or something. But
the Humane Society will be there.
Yeah, it'll be cool. Oh, the Humane Society. Okay, so yeah, it'd be cool to if they can show up, but I don't know. We'll find out. But yeah, there's a shout out.
Awesome.
And I actually just got a text from my brother, and he's like, man, these switchers are kind of hard to find. And I was like, well, Trav found one pretty easy. And I think he's wanting to get one. His son is wanting one for his birthday here in July.
Mm-hmm.
But
that might know where you can get one for like $700-800.
You pay double. I got one for you.
Because here's why. I've played it twice.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say. I want like a report. Like, have you played it? What's it
so
like?
we played I played with my boys. We played Mario Kart World. Super fun game.
It looks fun.
It's really fun. Actually, when I got home, we were getting ready to eat dinner, and my son asked me if I wanted to play that, and I was like, I can't, dude. But we'll play again. So we played Mario Kart World for 45 minutes, and then I played one round of Fortnite on it because I could just do it when I was sitting at the table doing something else, and that's all I've done. So I feel like handhelds aren't really my thing.
Yeah, I feel like it's definitely hard. Like I remember I did play Fortnite for a while because like my wife would
Yeah,
play
I
Fortnite
remember
with me on the Xbox and I'd play on the
you'd play on the
Switch.
Switch.
But even with the Switch 2, like it's bigger, but even then I feel like it obviously wasn't as powerful or as fast, and it's kind of difficult to maneuver. But that's kind of what I wanted to know, because that's one reason I didn't immediately jump into just buying one, because do they have any games for the Switch 2? Like,
Tons.
you like it? Are there bugs, or you know what
There's
I
a
mean?
ton of games. I think it will be cool if I'm traveling. I can just throw that in my
Oh, yeah.
bag, and then I'll have it so I can play Fortnite or something if you guys are playing back here. At home though, like it's just my Xbox is so much better.
And one thing that I really didn't like, and that's the reason I didn't like get another Switch, because like Roman kind of took over my Switch and became his, and then it started getting dropped and shit. Like the buttons don't work very well. But the reason I didn't get another one is I remember trying to take it one time to like a hotel, and it's like I couldn't get on the internet. Like
Oh
for some
yeah,
reason the Switch like sucked to get on the internet. So I don't know if
because
the
of
two is
the double. You have to.
yeah. So hopefully the two's better about that. But like that was the big reason I didn't go get another Switch, was because of that. Because it's like,
Yeah,
well, shit, if I can't even play video games in a hotel, then what's the point?
yeah. Here's the hack for that.
Okay.
Connect your phone to the Wi-Fi and then
Mhm.
turn the hotspot on from your phone, and it'll share it, and then you don't have to. You just connect to your phone,
Okay.
and then now you're on the Wi-Fi and you're good.
But with that being said, hotel internet sucks. It's always
Real
bad.
bad.
Like, so if I get to the point through the World Food Championships again where I'm
You
in
gotta
hotels
have
all the time, I
five.
think
You gotta
I'm
have
gonna
a
get like
5G
a
hotspot.
T-Mobile like Wi-Fi thing,
Mhm.
because like when I had that on my food truck, it worked really well.
Yeah. No, those
So
work really good. They have really good ones now that are meant to travel with. But yeah, Switch 2, it's cool. I like it. I have a hard time getting to play games anyway because it's busy, and then trying to find time to play mobile.
yeah.
We're gonna travel a little bit here in the next week, and we're gonna go down to Oklahoma, so we'll be on the road for 4 or 5 hours. So I might take it with me and try to play then.
Because you're a passenger princess.
I do ride.
Yeah,
My
let's
wife
make that clear real
drives.
quick that Trav is the passenger princess, and
Yeah, so I don't know. I think in situations it'll be cool. It's just not. It's not my main. I don't think it's ever going to be my main console.
sure.
Mostly because it's not on the run sheet. We're playing Halo right now,
Yeah.
and I can't play Halo on the Switch.
And that's crazy, the fact that we're back in Halo, because the last time we all played Halo together was like fucking, I don't even know, 2008?
I mean, it was a long time
A
ago.
long time ago. It was wild. Like we actually lived together, and I mean,
Yeah.
we used to have some pretty
Well,
awesome
I don't
Halo
think we
parties.
lived together in 2008 because I got married in 2007.
Well, whenever it was, 6.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, but I mean, it was a crazy time. But I'll tell you one thing that's super weird, that I've never been into like card games.
Yes.
And I feel like I've been doing more card gaming lately than I have like regular games, because my son got into Pokemon, like the trading card game.
Yes.
So
Like he's got actual cards that he's doing, or
yeah.
yeah.
No, it's not digital. Like, I
Uh-huh.
mean, we've got into the digital as well just to check it out. But yeah, he literally like bought a starter pack that comes with like 60 cards with all the energy and all that stuff.
Do you have
And
a
he's like,
mat and all the things?
yeah, and he's like, Dad, I think I figured it out. You know, because at first we didn't know the damn rules. I remember
No.
Rome came home one day and he's like, "Oh, this kid at this kid at school taught me how to play it." And the way he explained it was like, "No, it's not even close," because Brady like did a little research. So then Brady like really found out like generally what it was, and
It's
then we
just
did
like Snap. Like you know how to play Snap. It's the same thing.
yeah, but even then we were playing in a way, and I still don't know that I officially know the rules, but like anytime we would attack, like let's say you need like 2 fire energy
Yes.
or whatever, like once you attack, you use that energy and you have to burn it, you know what I mean? But it's like, but if you play the official game like digital, you don't. Like you get to keep your energy unless you like retreat and then you lose like 1 or 2 or whatever it is.
Oh, okay.
So we were playing and it was harder for us and it took longer, so it was kind of
Yeah.
fun, you know.
Yeah.
But when you play it like the official digital
Uh-huh.
version, it's like, no, you just attack this turn, then it's their turn, but then you have the same energy to attack again. And
How do you ever win? You just take all their cards?
Yeah, so you have to take all the prize cards, or if you kill their Pokemon and they don't have any on the bench, then it's immediately over.
Oh, gotcha. How many cards do you start with?
You start with
30
7
apiece?
cards.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you have 60 in your deck.
Yes.
You put 6 or 3 to 6, depending on how long you want the game to be in your prize cards, and then you get 7 cards in your hand.
Uh-huh.
And
Is
then
it random, or do you get to look at them?
No, because you shuffle everything, and then you
Okay.
just deal 7 out. And the crazy thing is, if you don't have a basic Pokemon to start with, you have to like shuffle your cards again. And if your opponent has one set up, they get to draw an extra card.
Oh, snap.
And then after you shuffle, you draw another 7, and then so you always have to start with a basic Pokemon. So this is stuff that I'm learning, and I feel like there's a lot of shit I still don't know because I've been even on the digital game just fucking kids up, and it's going so good. And then I will play a kid that has like this big extended deck, and I swear to God, every fucking turn they have is like 7 minutes long, and I'm just sitting here like, God damn it, can I just play a fuck? Because they're like, oh, I'm gonna put this item card down, I'm gonna draw 7 cards, and I'm gonna put this down, I'm gonna get some more energy, and I'm gonna stack this energy on here, I'm gonna trade this energy. All of a sudden, they got like their Pokemon super evolved and just beating the shit out of me, and I'm like, I haven't even had a fucking turn yet. This is fucking stupid. So, but yeah. With that being said, like I remember I walked up to my wife. And I was like, I'm not trying to brag, but I'm getting pretty good at Pokemon. She's like, you're a nerd.
We're
And I think she
into
like
a
took
nerd
a picture.
after all.
She took a picture of like me and Brady like playing Pokemon with our mats out and the fucking cards spread everywhere. So there's that. But yeah,
Is he 12?
10.
10.
He'll be 11 here in
I
August.
feel like that's the age when
Yeah.
people like it from the beginning of Pokemon. 10 years old is like the time when they get into that.
Okay. My dad actually came over today. I helped him with some stuff, and he was talking to Rome about like Pokemon stuff. He's like, you know what? He's like, on second shift, I had this supervisor, and he'd come get my guys as we're working, and they'd go on this little Pokemon Go, and they'd catch Pokemon around the plant. And he's like, and I was always so pissed because I had work to do. We had a plane to get out, and he's taking my guys to go catch Pokemon. He's like, how stupid. So yeah, there's that. But I mean, it's just, again, it's something fun to do with the kids, and you know, like that's why I got into Fortnite initially, because that's all the kids were talking about and wanting to do. So now it's Brady's like, Dad, I want you to go buy a kit. It's only $10. You can buy a box, and it's gonna have all the cards and everything. So now it's like I'm ordering extra shit, you know, because he wants to evolve his cards and do all this. But you know, I'm like,
it's wild. You should go check out vintage stock at the mall. They have tons of cards in there.
Really? Okay.
Cheap, yeah.
Well, like I said, my watch has been getting like some like chips in the glass and stuff, so I'm gonna have to hit our CCICT guys up. Maybe I'll go stop by there and film them replacing my glass, go get some caramel corn or whatever, and then go check out the vintage stock. Is that
vintage stock? It's downstairs. Yeah,
yeah. I'll have to go check that out because I'm sure Brady would freak about that.
Oh, dude, you should just take him in there in general. It's awesome. They have tons of cool stuff in there. Like you walk in, they've got a friggin' legit Zelda sword just in the freaking case, and then there's a life-size Deadpool sitting there on a box. Like it's awesome. Vintage stock is super cool.
Yeah, we'll have to do that because he's been all about it, and he was asking me, actually, there's a PokeFest like in Wichita that he wanted to go to, and his mom actually was like taking them to like Tampa or something.
Oh, really?
So I didn't want to say like, oh, you're going to Tampa, and then him be like, what? You know? So
yeah,
I keep putting it off like, oh, we'll see, man. I don't know.
Yeah. That's the show for this week, folks.
Hell yeah.
Check us out on
everything.
TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. Check us out on Spotify and Apple. Yeah. Give us a comment, give us a follow, a subscribe on Spotify. Spotify's awesome. You can see the video version and the audio version.
The very first time I went and looked, I was like, holy shit, there's a video here.
Yeah, so you can see everything podcast-wise on Spotify. You can also see that on YouTube. But Spotify's just kind of all one package. And so check us out on there. Give us a comment, like the episode, subscribe to them so they come to you every week on Tuesday morning. Keep it rad. Peace.